Sometimes, the world forgets how to treat the most innocent among us, but every now and then, justice doesn't knock, it lands like thunder. This is the true story of a little girl in a wheelchair and how her quiet strength brought a giant airline to its knees. The CEO's crippled daughter was pulled off the aircraft by the flight crew. 63 airports closed 10 minutes later. Hold on a minute, please share your viewing location in the comments below, and remember to subscribe for more stirring and motivational tales like this one. She had just turned 6. I'm thrilled, grinning. She has her cuddly bear on her lap and is prepared to take a plane home. However, everything changed when the flight crew saw her wheelchair. The grins went away. The goodwill disappeared. A few minutes later, they did the unimaginable. They hauled the young girl off the aircraft as if she were an issue rather than a human being. What were they unaware of? One of the most influential CEOs in the aviation industry was her father. Justice started to board when 63 airports closed 10 minutes after that heinous attack. Keep watching to the very end. There is more to this story than meets the eye. After speaking at a children's health summit, 6-year-old Amina was on her way home. Spoken about living in a wheelchair, yes. Amina had been raised strong, loved, and supported despite having muscular dystrophy from birth. Marcus Lane, her father, was a titan of international airport operations. But he was just daddy to Amina. Wearing a future pilot sweater and holding her pet animal, she boarded that day with her nanny. Everything was planned. The airline had pre-approved her seat near the front. However, none of the flight attendants grinned. An attendant scowled. She ignored the paperwork and murmured, "She can't block that row." 2 employees unfastened Amina's chair and dragged her toward the front in a matter of minutes. Perplexed, "I'm afraid." Quiet. The passengers let out a gasp. One attempted to step in. Amina didn't cry. She simply muttered, "Daddy," while turning to look back. The flight crew was unaware of the person they had just embarrassed, or how swiftly they would come to regret it. When Marcus Lane's assistant rushed in with a phone call, he was on a conference call with 3 foreign airports. "Your daughter was taken off her airplane, sir, with force." He pulled out the picture. Amina, her eyes wide and bewildered, her hair somewhat untidy, her chair out of reach. That was sufficient. Marcus was more than just the CEO. He oversaw tech operations, route maintenance, and airport fuel supplies at 63 airports. Comper Service was not contacted by him. He made a call to command centers. 5 directives were sent out. Cut off all assistance to the concerned airline. Don't refuel. No handling of gates. No loading of cargo. All of Marcus's empire's control towers were instructed to halt operations for this carrier. Flights were grounded mid-board in 10 minutes. Passengers in confusion were instructed to wait. The pilots were told to return to the gate. All across the terminals, phones rang. It was the canceled flight that had left Amina on the tarmac. Amina, meanwhile, was holding her teddy while sitting quietly in an airport chair. She remained silent despite her nanny's attempts to console her. Panic was sweeping through the operations rooms. Executives yelled. They sent out damage control teams. However, this was not an aesthetic issue. The 6-year-old girl's smile was stolen because a crew member failed to recognize her humanity. The airline CEO attempted to contain the fallout in a sealed airport lounge. With his gaze flitting to the shutdown news, he muttered to Marcus Lane, "This is regrettable." Calm but alert, Marcus leaned forward. "A 6-year-old crippled kid was hauled off a plane by your people like she was a bag. You are not allowed to use the word regrettable." Amina's story had gone viral when she returned to the ground. The question, "Would you treat your child like this?" was already trending alongside a video of the moment she was dragged away. The harm was already done when the airline publicly apologized. Marcus didn't request a reimbursement. He requested resignations and received them. Because this wasn't only an error, there was a message. And now it was being sent back, delivered, signed, and stamped. Amina spoke once more a month later, this time in front of millions of people who were watching a live webcast about disability awareness. She spoke quietly, her bear by her side. "I knew my dad would hear me cry that day, so I didn't." The world followed suit. Contracts were lost by the airline throughout Marcus's network. The industry was overwhelmed by changes in policy. Within weeks, new handicap safeguards were introduced in 27 airports. The actual victory, though? Amina was able to fly once more. Front row. No inquiries were made. Everyone was reminded by her story that even the most powerful system can be altered by the smallest voice. Have you ever witnessed someone using authority to quiet a child? What if everyone paid more attention the next time? If you think every child should be able to fly with dignity, please share this story and let us know where you're watching from. Amina's story reminds us that even a quiet voice can echo across the world if someone chooses to listen. Never underestimate the power of standing up for what's right. Have you ever seen someone use their power to silence a child? What if next time the world paid attention? If you believe every child deserves to fly with dignity, share and tell us where you're watching from. We're here to tell the stories that others overlook because every voice matters.